Well, hello again. It's Christopher Drummond, and I'm here for another exciting tutorial. This one is on eyebrow embroidery, which I have actually been doing for quite a while. I'm here in South Beach in Miami, and I perform what is called eyebrow embroidery. It's called 3D eyebrows. It's called semi-permanent tattoo. It's called hair strokes. It's called feather strokes. Just so you know, those are all the same thing. I get asked all the time, what's the difference? And they're all the same thing. Essentially, what this is taking a little tool like this, which has little teeny needles on it, blades, whatever you want to call it, and I one by one insert little hair strokes onto your eyebrows. So instead of looking like those old school tattoos that everybody fears in the eyebrow world, instead of looking like that, it literally looks textured. It looks like little hair strokes, so you literally can't tell that it's there. So this is the new aged form of eyebrow tattoos. I don't even like to call it a tattoo because people automatically think of that, 75-year-old grandmother, God bless her, that has those really, really dark and intense looking eyebrows that are so old that they've actually gone from being like a black color to being blue or a purple or whatever. That does not happen with semi-permanent makeup. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. As I was telling you, we have this, I use a hand tool which is also called microblading. And I really, really, really love it. I also use a digital machine which goes a little bit deeper, but it doesn't create as much of a fine hair stroke. These create a really beautiful hair stroke. It's thinner and it's actually more of a defined line, so it looks more like a hair than it does with a digital machine. So that being said, what you get, the results are some really amazing textured looking eyebrows that are matched with the color of your natural eyebrows or whatever color you want, and you get just a beautiful result as opposed to a not so beautiful result as with a traditional tattoo. Now the difference is with a traditional eyebrow tattoo, it doesn't go away. It's like this tattoo. This is never going to leave unless I get it lasered off. And the semi-permanent, it's called semi-permanent because it lasts anywhere up to 3 years, but usually about 1.5 to 2 years, and after that it literally disappears because you're inserting the ink with this just in the epidermis, which is the top layers of skin, as opposed to this, which is a lot deeper into the skin. This type of tattoo goes into the dermis. This type of tattoo, semi-permanent, goes into the epidermis. So you're not inserting the color as deep, so that means it doesn't last as long. So it's only going to last for a few years. So if a mistake is made, or if you just don't want the eyebrows anymore, they're going to fade over time. They get exfoliated off, is what happens essentially. So I'm going to answer a few questions now that I always get asked about doing the eyebrow embroidery. The number one question: does it hurt? Well, not really. It's a little, you feel it, but most women say that they feel the pressure more than they feel the actual insertion of the ink. I just like to say it that way because essentially you're cutting little lines in and you're inserting the ink in is what's happening. I'm just going to be real about it. I'm going to keep it 100%. Okay, and that's essentially what's happening is we're doing little micro incisions, and those incisions, there's actually ink on the needle, and that goes into the skin and gets implanted in. Does that hurt? It feels, I mean, you can definitely feel it, but it's not painful. And I've never had anybody run out of my room screaming, saying they're never going to come back because it hurt too bad. And everybody always comes back for the touch-ups, which means it can't be that bad because, you know, people are coming back for more. So, it's the price you pay for beauty, right? That's what I always tell people. But if you've had your eyebrows threaded, I've always been told that threading is more painful than doing the 3D eyebrows and the eyebrow embroidery hair strokes. I get told that all the time. And keeping 100% again, what I do get told as well is that the sound of it is actually worse than the feeling of it, because you can hear it happening. Yeah, again, keeping it real. And so some people, you know, have an issue with that at first, but once you get used to it, it's fine. It sounds like Velcro. You know, it just kind of sounds like. Does that sound like Velcro to you? But you can hear it. It's nothing horrible, and again, I've never had anybody, you know, run out of the room because the sound of it was too bad for them. So, you know, call it what you want. Now, if you can see over on the left side, my left shoulder here, perched on my shoulder, I have all of my, everything that I use for the eyebrow embroidery. And that includes inks, it includes, I have a ruler, I have scissors, I have little eyebrow, I think this is called it just trims the hair, but it's called a tinkle, I think. It's literally called a tinkle. That's a whole nother video. Okay, so I have my pencils, so what I do is I will do an outline of what I think the eyebrow should look like for the client. She will then look in the mirror and say, okay, can you like adjust this and move this, or it's perfect, I love it. And that way you can see what it's going to look like before I start working on it. And then I work on it about 3/4 of the way through. I give the client the mirror. She can actually look and, you know, see how things are going, but then also say, oh, you know what, can you raise the arch a little bit, or can you extend it out, or, you know, can you just kind of make any adjustments? Or she'll say it's perfect, I love it so far. I'll finish it up and that'll be it. It usually takes from beginning to end, and the beginning includes numbing, which takes about 20 to 30 minutes. I use a professional grade numbing cream that's only available with plastic surgeons and doctors, because I do work with a plastic surgeon here at Alvarez Plastic Surgery. So I get a really good numbing cream. I also use a numbing gel as I go. So that means that while I'm working on you, the area is going to remain numb and you're really not going to feel anything. Another question I get asked is, you know, when you walk out of here, am I going to be red? Is it going to be swollen? What is it going to look like? It literally looks like you just had your eyebrows done in a good way. There's very little, if any, redness, swelling, none of that. And anybody who's a good practitioner, you will not walk out looking like you had anything done. It might be a little bit swollen, but that's it. I mean, you can definitely go out in public and nobody's going to stare at you. It just looks like you had your eyebrows done. Now, what is the aftercare? That's another question that I get all the time. So it's really about a 2 to 3 week process of healing. The eyebrows, you know, like I said, you are cutting into the skin, and so it needs to heal. And the skin doesn't heal instantly. It takes a few weeks for your skin to heal, so you have to remember that. Some scabbing may occur. It may occur. Not usually though. The way that I do it, usually there's not a lot. Some people have a little bit, but it's not too bad. You put A&D ointment on very regularly for the first, I would say, about 4 to 5 days. And then after everything is healed and any scabbing has come off, then you just apply that, you know, once or twice a day. I actually give a list of everything that you need to do and not do for the next week afterwards. Another thing to remember when you're doing your eyebrow embroidery or after it's been done is your skin is healing, and some weird things happen, like the tattoo will start to fade and go away, and then it comes back. And you know, so I get texts all the time from people freaking out saying, my tattoo, you know, my eyebrow embroidery, it went away, it disappeared, what do I do, can you redo it? And I just tell them you have to give it time. That's why I tell people you have to wait at least a month before coming back in to get your touch up.